Well, I want to work with you. I'm sold. Like how I need brand help with, I mean, even going back 23 years, I wish I'd had this at Zen Man. Everything's evolved so much, but Oak, my new company would be amazing. How, if I wanted to work with you, what do I get? What's the value, the takeaways, deliverables, outcome? What's the process of working with Wildstory?
Yeah, and the process is I am very big on co-creation. And so there's some agencies that just, you get an intake form, they go away, they come back and they say, here's your brand. And that's not really how I work. It's really about co-creation. We have multi-day work sessions where we're working with leadership teams to really suss out the essence of the brand. But the outcome in a weird way is the thinking, because that's the really hard stuff, and the deliverable becomes this articulation of your brand, which is typically found in answering 8 really simple questions. So this is where it's a little bit deceiving, because I'm gonna go through these questions and they're not hard questions, but they're hard to answer sometimes. And so in no particular order, the 8 questions, number 1 is, who are we here for? So who do you serve? Who's your customer? Really getting clear on that. Why are we here? What is your purpose? What are you here to do beyond making $1? What do we do? Which is usually typically easy. Hey, we are a branding firm. We sell alarm clocks. We sell water bottles. And how do we do it? What is our process? So, with the Oak Journal, how is your journal different than another journal, because you have a different process? What's our backstory? I find out so much about a company when they share their backstory. Often there's 3 reasons why a company has been founded. It's either inspiration, desperation, or frustration. And why was this business started? What's our vision? So people buy today with a shared vision of the future tomorrow, right? Or that people buy today a positive shared vision. And so what's the vision? What's the vision of the business? What makes us different? Okay. Got to be unique. It's got to be something different. Why do I buy Oak Journal versus another journal? What do we value the most? This becomes about core values, your beliefs. What do you stand for? And then what's our personality? So what's the personality of the brand? Because brands are like people. They have personalities. They need to live. And oh my gosh, in today's, content-driven brand landscape, if you don't have a personality, you're really, really in trouble. People expect that. No longer do people want IBM, right? Let me back off that statement. Some people do want IBM, but a business doesn't have to be super corporate all the time. It should have a personality, especially in my space, where I'm working with brands that connect. And that, I think that's something really to understand. And that comes back to, number 1, who's our customer? What do they expect? Do they want corporate? A lot of times in your bank, you do. But, there's a lot of new banks, like SoFi comes to mind, and some other ones that are trying to, attract a younger, hipper demographic. And so they're much different. Or Progressive and Flow is the cool insurance company. Prudential's the rock, and they're the serious company. They still do the same thing, and it's really about branding. And so these are the inputs. These are the 8 questions. Pretty easy questions, you'd think, right? But they take time. They're deceptively simple. And so when we take this, we're able to take these inputs and then ladder them up, use them as the lens for, creating the story about the brand, ongoing messaging. And this becomes the foundational strategy. And you can see why it's strategy. It's who are our customers? Well, that's a big strategic decision. That's a business decision. That's not a color decision. Why are we here? Big stuff. What's our vision for the future? Where are we going with this brand? What makes us different? These are all big strategic business questions. These are not logo questions.